What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy GS. Welcome back to another Madden 17. Well, gameplay in the background. Today we're going to go over, obviously excluding the Monday night game tonight between the Falcons and the Saints. We're going to go on ahead and talk about the Week 3 wrap-up. And we're going to start off with the Patriots versus the Texans. What an absolute slobber knocker that was. Who would have thunk that the Patriots would go on ahead and win with their third string rookie quarterback and go on ahead and win 27-0. What's an absolute shellacking. The Texans couldn't even get in field goal range. The Patriots going ahead and win 27-0. Now, I had the Texans winning. Did I say the Texans? I mean the Patriots if I messed up. Winning 27-0. I had the Texans winning if Garoppolo wasn't starting. You know, it's going to be on a short week. It's going to be the third string quarterback. You know, I didn't see too much of a chance of the Texans losing that game. And we were proven wrong. And 27, well, not we, I was, or anybody else who thought the Texans were going to win. 27-0, though. I mean, that's disgusting, man. We're taking a look at the Patriots guaranteeing themselves, because they have a two-game lead in the division already. They are guaranteeing themselves a one-game lead, minimum. If they lose and, you know, the other team's division win, they are guaranteeing themselves a one game in the division when Tom Brady comes back. Who would have thunk that the Patriots would have gone 3-1 or 4-0 and then get Tom Brady back? I mean, the NFL may be in charge. I think Tom Brady is going to come out in just pure savage mode. The way everything's been going down with the suspensions and him and the commissioner and the grand jury and all that stuff, I see Tom Brady absolutely destroying things when he comes back in Week 5. Whew, I didn't see the Patriots winning 27-0. I didn't see them winning at all on a short week with the third string quarterback. But 27-0 though, man. Next up, we have the Bills at the Cardinals. I was watching this game, and the Cardinals did not look good at all. Cardinals struggled. The Bills finally got a run game. Finally, LaShawn McCoy goes on ahead, gets a pair of touchdowns, rushes for over 100 yards. They did a good job playing on both sides of the ball. Tyrod Taylor, I think he rushed for like 60, 70 yards. And the Bills finally go on ahead and get a good rushing attack from LaShawn McCoy. And the Cardinals surprisingly starting off 1-2. You know, thought to be one of the favorites. In the NFC. You know, and they're 1-2, which is, I mean, good for us in our division. Considering, you know, the NFC West is, you know, stacked with the Cardinals and the Seahawks, but I didn't see the Cardinals starting off 1-2. But Bills played a good game. LaShawn McCoy finally gets busy on the ground. They end up winning. Now the Raiders and the Titans. The Raiders come up victorious, even though they were shut out the second half. All 17 points came in the first half, and the Titans are just not looking so great. End up losing to the Raiders, and the Raiders are actually looking pretty, you know, they looking nice, man. They looking nice, man. The Raiders are looking nice. Big game, the Redskins and the Giants, and the Redskins end up winning by 2 points, 29-27. Headed into halftime down 21-16. The Giants were winning. And then the Redskins are able to just go on ahead and hold the Giants to only 2 field goals in the second half, one in the third quarter, one in the fourth quarter. And the big story was Josh Norman versus OBJ. And Odell had himself a very good game. Just, you know, they end up losing. And it just so happens that even though it's a big story between between them two, uh, Eli Manning ends up having himself 350 yards, throws for a touchdown. Kirk Cousins 2 touchdowns, close to 300 yards. Matt Jones, who I have in fantasy, did absolutely garbage. I need to trade him. I don't know who's going to take him. Shane Vereen and Darkwa both end up running for a touchdown. And receiving, like I said, OBJ, 7 receptions, 121 yards. Had himself a good game. A lot of, D-Jax, 5 receptions, 96 yards with a touchdown. A lot of people going ahead and seeing OBJ getting frustrated. It's all over Twitter. I'm sure you probably have seen it already with him hitting the kicking net and the net coming back and falling down on him. And I actually like that emotion out of him. You seen him crying on the sidelines, and a lot of people are telling him. I see a lot of analysts today, this morning, on talk shows and saying that that type of animosity and that type of behavior doesn't need to be shown on the sidelines. He had a little temper tantrum. He lost his cool, and to me, I like that. That just shows passion. That just shows how badly he wants to win. That shows even though he himself had himself a great day, he keeps on having a game like that every week, and you're going to make a lot of money in this league. But he wants to win. It's not enough that he did good. His team lost, and you can tell by his frustrations and how Eli, have done some things that he shouldn't have been doing, got to him, and I like to see that. I definitely enjoyed seeing that side come out of him. And, again, even though he had a great game, to him it wasn't enough. He wanted the W, and unfortunately they came up short, and they ended up losing 29-27. Good game. The Browns and the Dolphins. Who would have thunk? People were sitting there like, oh my goodness, the Browns may have an opportunity to win. They were going up against the Dolphins, and they went into halftime up 13-10, and then they end up scoring 4 points in the fourth quarter, tie the game, but Miami Dolphins end up winning. I believe it was like a stretch play, and they end up running, and they end up getting the game-winning touchdown. Miami does. And unfortunately, the Browns fall short. So close, yet so far. And like the Browns fans, you guys should be hoping, continuing to just do bad. As a 49er fan, which, when our game will come up, we got shellacked by the Seahawks, and people hit me up on Twitter like, you're 1-2. Like, I wish we were 0-3. Realistically, our team needs a lot of work. Winning 4, 5, 6 games does not help us. We need to rebuild. We need a top pick. We need help. Winning is not going to help us. It's not. I'd much rather just go 1-15 and solidify a great pick in the draft for a future player than go 7-9 or 8-8 or even 9-7 and make the playoffs just to lose. Like, we need a lot of help, and so do the Browns. So even though it's tough to sit here and watch your team, I don't like my team losing, but I understand the benefits to the team right now because we need a lot of help. If our team was really, really good and we were losing, that's a whole different level. But to go on ahead and know that we need help and know that we're buns and to be losing, I don't take it as hard, because it's like, might as well just start scouting now. Let's start scouting now, and let's go on ahead and get somebody that can help us get out of this, just disaster we're in for a franchise right now. And Cleveland is in the same spot. Team is struggling, but, Josh Gordon comes back in week 5. Really not sure about the situation with RG3. I haven't heard any news if he's done for the year, or I don't know, but, you get your best offensive weapon who's missed all of last year. He's coming back. Don't know how much of a change that's going to make, if he's going to be able to, just out of nowhere make this a 6-win team or something. I don't know. But Josh Gordon in his prime, and a good Josh Gordon is, possibly a top 10 weapon in the NFL at the receiver, and who knows? He's coming back week 5. We'll see what type of Josh Gordon we got coming back. Ravens versus Jaguars. Ravens end up winning. It was a lot closer than I would have thought, but they do end up winning 19-17. Where the Jaguars are just 0-3. Bortles is just making mistakes that you just see that just make you put your head down. And 19-17, 0-3 Jaguars. I mean, pretty much everybody should have selected the Ravens winning that game. Not so close though. And even, there was some heated arguments afterwards with Steve Smith and stuff like that. I've seen it all over Twitter and stuff like that at the end of the game and stuff like that. But Ravens win 19-17. The Lions and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers came out slinging 4 touchdowns in the first half. They went into the halftime up 31-10, and the Lions just scored right before half with like seconds remaining. They end up scoring a touchdown. So it really possibly could have been 31-3. And the second half, I don't know what happened, but Aaron Rodgers was like 1 for like 9 in the second half at one point. Like, just really didn't get it going. They barely won. They won by 1 score. They were up 31-10, and they win 34-27, only scoring a field goal in the second half. And the Lions putting up 17 points in the second half, just a little too short. But Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers. Jordy Nelson is back, caught a couple of touchdowns. I would like to see Randall Cobb get more involved, considering I have him on my fantasy team. But Aaron Rodgers looked good. Second half was a completely different story, but they did so well in the first half, it didn't even matter. You know, they put themselves out so far in front that it was just too tough for them to come back, and they end up winning the game 34-27. And like I said, A-Rod with 4 touchdowns in the first half. Broncos beat the Bengals 29-17, and the Broncos are looking really good. Simeon threw for, I believe, 300, plus yards. Manuel Sanders had himself a big day. And the Broncos defense, second half, only held Cincinnati to 3. Didn't give up any points in the third quarter. Held them to a field goal in the fourth. And, with this type of defense that they have, Simeon really doesn't need, he's not going to be put in too many situations where he has to be in a shootout and outscore somebody. Can he be that kind of quarterback? Who knows? He hasn't been put in that situation yet. But right now he's doing a good job of just doing what he. Well, I mean, this week against the Bengals, he had a great game. But before, he's just doing what he needs to do. Not doing too much. No need to do anything too extra. He's just doing enough to get by because the defense is doing so well, and they end up winning 29-17, remaining undefeated. This one I didn't see coming. Between the Vikings and the Panthers, it was tough to watch. The Vikings slaughtered the Panthers. They won 22-10. Panthers got all their 10 points in the first quarter. Kelvin Benjamin, their most explosive offensive weapon, who has 3 touchdowns so far this year, had 1 target and 0 receptions the entire game. I don't see how many games the Panthers can win by pretty much ignoring their biggest offensive threat in Kelvin Benjamin. 1 target for 0 receptions. The Vikings, I believe, had 8 sacks that game. Cam Newton, if I'm mistaken, because the numbers aren't in front of me, but I believe he had 3 interceptions. I mean, I'm on NFL.com to get the scores. I could just look at the stats and see, but I was watching Undisputed a little bit this morning, and I believe it was 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. Because how do you not go and get Kelvin Benjamin involved? How? How, Sway? 1 target for 0 yards? You expect to win like that? I mean, you can win like that if you play up against the garbage-ass 49ers, which we'll get to in a second. But against a team that is swarming you, you got to put the ball in your playmaker's hands. And Cam Newton just continued to get sacked, and he long game for Cam Newton. All 10 points in the first quarter, shutout after that. The Vikings win 22-10. The Rams defeat the Buccaneers in what I believe is the highest scoring game this week between both teams. I believe so. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, Mulligan. But 37-32, the Rams end up coming out on top. And the Rams didn't look good against the opening week. They looked very sloppy when they lost to the 49ers. They looked very, very sloppy. But since then, gotten together. Keenum, 2 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, 27 carries. It's a lot of carries. It's a lot of handoffs, man. That's just a lot of pounding that they're doing. 27 carries. 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tavon Austin and Quick, both with the touchdowns. Jameis Winston, great game. 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough. Mike Evans, 10 receptions, 132 yards with the touchdown. Both teams just defense just really didn't come to the show, really. A lot of points being scored. And unfortunately, the Buccaneers come out on the losing end of that one. And the Rams definitely looking better since getting shut out in week 1. By that side, take a guess what game is next. The 49ers against the Seahawks. And we look absolutely terrible. We lose 37-18. And it was just a struggle. It was just a struggle. We scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. That's garbage time. I mean, they were already winning by so much. They just took their foot off the pedal, basically. And, the game was just already over at that point. We just look discombobulated. We're struggling to get stops. We can't do anything on defense. Again, I'd much rather just lose. Just lose, man. We need help. We need a lot of help. When we lost Patrick Willis, and then, the next year, our rookie middle linebacker ends up retiring a year after. We got some good pieces, but we need a lot of help. I don't even want to talk about this damn game, man. Giants, we already talked about. The Jets and the Chiefs, and my Lord, was the Chiefs won 24-3. And your boy, Ryan Fitzpatrick, had an amazing game of 6. Hold on, I didn't stutter. I didn't say the number wrong. SIX, man. 6 interceptions. 6 of them. He completed 6 passes to the other team. This man had 6 interceptions. Is that a record? I have no idea, but they got completely destroyed. And when you give the other team 6 extra possessions without you being able to end your drive with a kick, and at the end of the day, all you want to do, you want to be able to end your drive with a kick no matter what, whether it's a punt or a field goal. You always want to end your drive with a kick. You don't want to turn the ball over. You don't want to give the other team good field position. You don't want to, just end any type of momentum you're getting. You don't want to give the other team any momentum. 6 turnovers. Yeah, they got mollywopped. 24-3. The Chargers and the Colts. And the Chargers go to 1-2, and the Colts get their. I believe I chose the Colts this week. Didn't I choose the Colts getting their first victory of the week? Of the year. And the Colts do sneak by, winning by 4, 22-26. It was tied up at halftime, 13-all. And then Indianapolis outscored them by 1 point, 7-6 in the third, and then 6-3 in the fourth, which is giving them 4 points. But the way they won, though, the way the Chargers lost, they're up 2 with a minute and 30, about a minute 30, minute 35 remaining. Indianapolis is about 10 yards away. They're close to about the 40-yard line, maybe at about the 38, somewhere around there. They're on their side of the field. So in order for them to get in field goal range, they need a good 30 yards. With a minute and 30 remaining, Andrew Luck drops back from the shotgun. A quick slant to T.Y. Hilton. He breaks the tackle. He makes a move to get by the safety, and he scores the game-winning touchdown with about a minute and 10 seconds left. The Chargers, out of their 2 losses, I believe both losses, they were winning at one point towards the end of the game and just gave it away. I mean, you could make a point that the Chargers could be 3-0. They just couldn't hold on. The Steelers and the Eagles, my God, was this disgusting to watch. The Steelers were thought that they were thought to be the team that were going to end the homecoming of the Eagles. Oh, not homecoming in a sense of, you know what I mean? Not the kind of like the honeymoon. You know, Wentz out here 2-0, breaking records with passing attempts and have yet to have thrown a turnover. And they're like, well, it was the Browns and it was the Jaguars. I believe those were the 2 teams they won previously. If I was wrong, excuse me. But if I'm not mistaken, those were the 2 teams. Browns and Jaguars. 2 terrible teams, right? Both of those teams are 0-3 right now. You look at the schedule, and they're like, the Eagles haven't beat anybody good. They're not going to be able to do that against the Steelers. The Steelers are a different animal. The Steelers are, you know, a playoff team. The Steelers are, you know, a Super Bowl contender. You know, one of the best teams in the league. They're not going to be able to do that. 34-3. The Eagles demolished them. And Wentz, which I've seen on Twitter that I believe they're going to change this damn city name to Wentzylvania. Wentz throws for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Roethlisberger, 257 with no touchdowns. Antonio Brown, big game, 140 yards, 12 receptions, no touchdowns. Obviously, they were only held to 3. Eagles defense looked amazing. Now, one thing that Big Ben does better than right off the gate, as soon as the game started, Pittsburgh gets in good territory and their field goal was blocked. The very first drive, I believe it was the first drive. Their field goal gets blocked right off the rip. So instead of jumping out to a lead, getting some momentum, being able to kick the ball off and have the Eagles most likely start at the 25-yard line, now their position is a little better. Now momentum is on their side right from the get-go, and it just went downhill from there. It just went, the defense looked great. Again, Big Ben is known for being able to extend the play, probably better than anybody in the NFL. And I'm not talking about extend the play like Michael Vick run outside, and no, I'm talking about he'll just step up in the pocket, run around within the pocket, go outside, and just extend the play for an extra 2-3 seconds. I don't think there's anybody better in the league at that than him. And it did not matter. You could have given the damn Ben Roethlisberger could have been in that pocket 15 seconds at a snap. It would have mattered. The Eagles had everything blanketed. The Eagles are really looking like, with that performance, are looking like a top team. I mean, do we have any doubts that right now they're not the best team in the NFC East? Even though there's 2 2-1 teams, the Giants are 2-1. I mean, the Redskins got their first win. The Cowboys are 2-1, but the Eagles are 3-0. I mean, is there any debate that they're the best team in the NFC East? Not to mention, I chose the Eagles to win that game. I didn't think it was going to be like this. I didn't think Wentz was going to come out here, and I didn't see him struggling, but I didn't see him throwing for 300, 2 touchdowns, and the Eagles absolutely clamping the Steelers. I did not see that. Hell of a game by the Steelers. By the Eagles, and I think they made a statement that, team might be for real, man. Wentz is elevating, getting better every week, and kid looks good. I don't watch college football, so I don't know what he did in college. I know they traded up to the number 2 spot because Goff went number 1. And he hasn't played, so we don't know what to expect out of him. But Wentz is looking amazing. Amazing. And they're 3-0. Sunday night game, we got the Cowboys and the Bears are who we thought they were. Bears are another struggling team. Dak Prescott is another rookie quarterback exceeding expectations, at least for me. He looks incredible as well. Dak looks really good as well. And he has got the team to 2-1. Finally gets his first passing touchdown of the season. Ezekiel Elliott, 30 carries, man. 30 carries for 140 yards. Rushing, the Bears couldn't really get anything going. But Hoyer did have, 319 yards, but 50 attempts, though. How do you expect to win a game passing with 50 times if you don't have, if your name isn't Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady, you shouldn't be passing 50 times a week. 50 times, 49 attempts. And that's just the predicament they were forced to be in because they could not get anything going on the ground. You make them one-dimensional and, you pass the ball 50 times. Unless you got Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk and Torrey Hope back there, you shouldn't be throwing that many damn times. That's just crazy. But the Dallas Cowboys do end up winning. Prescott, again, looking sharp. One of the many quarterbacks I would take right now over the quarterbacks we have. Ezekiel Elliott exploding for 140. It's just crazy that they passed the ball 50 times. And they only ran the ball 15 times. When you take a look at the Cowboys, Prescott threw for 24 times. Ezekiel had 15 attempts. Prescott himself had 4 attempts. Morris had 5. Whitehead and Dunbar had a attempt each. Gonna be difficult winning, passing the ball that many damn times. That's the end of the video, fellas. Again, Monday night game will be tonight. Saints and Falcons. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. I have the Saints. Did I go with the Saints? I believe I went with the Saints winning that one. It's your boy GSMN. See you guys next video. Peace! How the hell did the Giants... I wasn't even paying attention to the game. How the hell did the Giants get a safety?